Well, now I look like a little bit of a redneck from Alaska or somewhere with my cap on. I've got my heater on at the back there. It just came on the telly a movie, A Beautiful Mind, with Russell Crowe. I watched that movie and I loved it because I loved his overwhelming intellect. But in all honesty, to put it frankly, it fucked me up a bit because when I first saw that movie, I thought I was strong enough alone with my own intellect, which, to be really quite modest, I'm quite overwhelmed by its capacity. However, I was incapable of what he did in that movie, which was to use his intellect to overcome the flaws in his psyche and in his social and emotional dilemmas. And as a result of that, I fought for years and years and years alone and by myself, much like a cyclone, often threatening to come to shore. But then when I did, I certainly wreaked havoc. So it was only after a considerable collapse of myself, realising that I couldn't do this, I couldn't actually repair myself by myself, that I went off and got some help. And then that didn't help because the help I sought, I toyed with, as I think a lot of people do when they go to psychologists and psychiatrists. They toy with them, and then that didn't help at all. All that did was to feed my ego of my own superiority, which of course was ever imploding. Only after I was ambushed by my band of brothers and subsequently had to go into inpatient care for basically being a nutcase, did I find the fact that I needed help. And I got a little bit of help in, as my friend Graham puts them, my happy pills, and I still take them now. I still feel a little bit weak about taking them, but they changed my life just much. I don't feel weak about taking my high blood pressure pills, and only take a very tiny amount of medication for my blood pressure. But, you tell everyone about that because that's a bit accepted. But when you say, I take medication to stop myself from, falling into the depths of despair and having the black dog ravage me around the throat and tear my life apart. Oh, that's interesting, mate. Oh, yeah, nice to talk to you about that. But so it was only when I asked for help, and I was lucky because there was a whole series of cascading events that led to me seeking advice and being hijacked by my mates. Thank you. They didn't say to me, "Are you okay?" They knew I was fucked. They hijacked me and they put me in a hospital, and I got some good care. And I will always love them for it. And I think they will always laugh because that will be one of the greatest revenges for all of the shit things that I've done for them over the years. So if you're... no, I'm not going to lecture. Stop lecturing. I found that you can't do it by yourself. I found that you got to have professionals and the right professionals. Got to have some drugs and the right drugs. Not doing a couple of cones on the weekend and thinking that's okay, or drinking fucking 3 cartons of piss per week. They're not the right drugs. You need some good professionals, and you need a community around you. You need mates. In my particular case, I got a band of brothers who I will love to the end of my days and beyond. We have a little saying, it's called Lilab. Love you like a brother, Lilab. And we say it to each other often at the end of phone calls when things are a bit shit and you don't know what to say and you don't want to be, bit weak about, oh, love you, all that sort of shit. And you're going to have community. You've got to have some connection to those people around you. And I think the best way you can do that is by doing good things and nice things. So I love this movie, A Beautiful Mind, because I think Russell Crowe is just fantastic in it. I think he's a greater gladiator in this movie than he was in the movie Gladiator. But there's not too many of us that have that mental strength, even though we think we do have, like me, who's never been backward and coming forward about how superior I am to the rest of you. There's very few of us that can do it like him, alone. So firstly, I'm going to say the greatest thing I ever did in my trek, because it's not a journey. These journeys are bullshit. Journeys are things you do when you go on a cruise and get COVID-19, and you get fat with a bunch of really old people who appear to be all on holidays with their grandchildren, because it's a fucking nightmare. I'm never going to go on a cruise ever again. It's not a journey that you're on when your brain's not working properly. It's a trek, because you carry your baggage. There's uphill and there's downhill. Not too much downhill, a lot of uphill, a lot of mud, or a lot of shit, knee deep, often, waist deep. So all I'm going to say is that, in final ramblings, is do the hardest thing in the world that it is to do. No, I'm lecturing again. I found that what made me completely change my life around was getting to a place of despair, and reaching out to my friends and saying I need help, and saying that treatments that I didn't want to have in the past because I thought they were weak as piss, I accepted those treatments and I tried them and they changed my life. So I wish I had done these things earlier. So I think we all have beautiful minds. Russell Crowe in the movie A Beautiful Mind, has a beautiful mind, and really top guns too, not like mine. I'm never going to post this video, 7 minutes, what a load of shit. So I found that the only way you can escape the black dog and despair and find a new direction for really good mental health is to seek professional help. Pull in your band of brothers around you and ask for their help. Have your community circle around you, and get on some medication to kick you up, and it could be something natural like St. John's wort or something like that, or it could be getting off the piss, it could be stopping smoking. Sometimes we don't need medication, sometimes we need to stop the medication we're taking. So even though I now look like someone from Alaska who's just come in off the tundra to chat to you, all I can say is I'm sitting in my shed and berry. My life's good because I'm not dead, and when I was doing it hard, I should have reached out to my mates and my friends and my family and my community a bit more. Just a thought. Because we all have beautiful minds.